Okay, welcome to this edition of Kevin's Garage, my ongoing journey as a car building novice to build a Factory 5 Roadster. And I have to say, I'm thoroughly enjoying the process. So what are we doing this week? This week we are installing the hydraulic clutch and also just finishing off the driver's footbox aluminum panel, the one on the left-hand side. Why did I go with the hydraulic clutch? My understanding is that they're just more reliable, smoother, and it was certainly the look and the feel that I wanted for my Roadster. When you order your kit from Factory 5, if you want to go down the hydraulic clutch option, then clearly you just need to make that selection and they'll provide you with the relevant pieces, and we'll talk through that in a moment. You also, depending on where you get your engine from, we'll look at mine in a moment. Mine is from Blueprint. I got the engine and the transmission, and I specified that I wanted a hydraulic clutch, so clearly all the parts are fitted and we'll be assembling that shortly. Okay, so when you order from Factory 5, what do you get? And we'll have a look at Kevin Cam and look at all the parts in a moment. Clearly we have the master cylinder, which you saw when I installed the brake lines. I also got the extra reservoir for the brake fluid, or for the clutch fluid in this case, which I've already installed on the car, which you saw on a previous edition as well. So in addition, from Factory 5, what you get is, because the what comes out of the master cylinder is a 3/8 fitting, and what you normally fit as a clutch line is a 1/4 inch. So you get an L-shaped adapter, and then you get a short 30-inch clutch cable. So we're going to take a look at my engine in a moment, and you'll see how maybe I'm going to use this in a slightly different way than it was originally intended. What you also get, and this is actually a 1/4 inch brake line that I didn't use, as I went the PTFE route when I fitted my brake lines. So actually this is what I'm going to use, and I'll show you what I did in a moment. All right, but I think the thing we need to do first is let's have a quick look at my engine, show you where the clutch line comes out, and then we'll have a look at the car in terms of what I decided to do and how I configured it. All right, let's go and take a look. Okay, so we're now on Kevin Cam. We've come around the corner. Let's just pop out a little bit. So there you can see I've got the body stored, and this is my engine down here from Blueprint. So I've got just a Ford 302. I thought that as a novice, let's start with the smallest engine they offer, but you can see it's very nice, all crated, and comes with the Tremec TKX transmission, which is what I chose. So all I wanted to show you briefly on the engine is, if you look down here, you can see where the hydraulic clutch cables come out. So really it's just sort of, towards the end of the transmission, as the transmission is moving through the clutch area, if you like, into the engine. So that's where I need. You'll see there are 2 leads. This one on the left is the hydraulic clutch, and then the fitting on the right is to bleed the clutch in a similar way that you're going to bleed the brakes, and we'll look at that at a future episode. All right, so just remember where that cable comes out, and then when we look at the car, we'll be able to see how we're going to make it all work. Okay, so we're back at the car, looking down into the engine bay, and if you remember where that clutch cable is going to come out, you can see obviously the fitting just to where the engine's going to go, and you can see obviously that's the transmission tunnel up there. So really somewhere sort of here on the right hand side, maybe not even, maybe 1/3 of the way up that frame is where the clutch cable is going to come out. So I need to be in this vicinity somewhere on the right hand side. So let me show you what I actually did. So here's the fitting you can see. So what I did is, like I've done before, and I'll just go over here to show you. Oh, there it is. I made here's my template. Oh, Don't know if you can see that, but I'll try and put it the sort of similar way. Right, so there's the template I made out of soft wire, which in essence shows where I wanted the clutch cable to go. So if I look now on Kevin Cam, you can see first what I had to do is to get a little fitting here, which takes the 3/8 fitting into the quarter. So put that on first. A good tip from Factory 5 is with all these fittings, you don't need to force them too hard, particularly when you're putting a fitting down into the base of the master cylinder, because it can hurt it if it damage it if it goes in too hard. So then you can see the same way you fit a brake line, I just came round following the template round the side, trying to stay neat. Just kept it with a couple of the obviously the fittings and the rivets, sort of bent it around and then just sat it on that sort of upward 3/4 or slightly bigger, a 1-inch tube, so that it's now in a perfect position, probably about, I don't know, maybe 12 inches away from where it needs to go, and then I can obviously connect the clutch cable from Factory 5, so that will have us all sorted. And obviously you can see here, these are the reservoirs on that little bracket that I made. So I think overall, I think it looks pretty neat and tidy. And once you've done, I think I found once I've done one of these brake lines, it was actually pretty straightforward. So I think I quite enjoyed that process. All right. So what I need to do now that I've got that line in, is I can just finish off this final bracket. So you see I've already drawn the holes down the side. The bracket or the panel I've already pre-cut or pre-drilled all of those holes, so I think I'm in a good position. So what I'm going to do now, follow exactly the same process, fit that. I know this one's a little bit awkward, so a little bit of bending required, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished. All right. Okay, we're back on with Kevin Cam, so let's look to see how the panel came out. I think it looks pretty neat. I think that all of that time just making sure all of the edges were square was the right thing to do. You can see I've got my holes across the top for next time, and you can see that the bottom section, if I can just pull back a little bit, went in absolutely fine as well, and the side. I still get annoyed by that extra little rivet, but that's just the one that was in there when it came from Factory 5. So that's good. I think we're in a good position now. So the clutch is all ready. So we're ready for just to summarize any key learnings. All right. Okay, so that's it for this episode. The hydraulic clutch is in. The final, or one of the final panels to the driver footbox is in. I think we're in good shape to move forward. Just a couple of learnings from my perspective. If you do go and decide to go with the option of the hydraulic clutch, obviously communication is critical. Make sure Factory 5 knows that, and make sure that your company that's producing the engine, in my case Blueprint, knows that as well. Then they can of course marry up the two and make sure you get everything that you need. There are multiple options in terms of how you connect your hydraulic clutch. I went with a system which was very similar to how I set up my brake lines. You don't have to do that, but that's just what worked for me and has the sort of look and the feel very traditional that I'm looking for with this car. But as long as you end up with the right connection there or thereabout in the engine bay, ready to connect to the hydraulic clutch, I think you'll be absolutely fine. And again, Factory 5 were extremely helpful. So if in doubt, just give them a call and speak to someone in the technical department. I think the only other learning for me is just with regard to this panel. This for me was a little bit more awkward. It didn't quite sort of fit properly on some of the corners. So one of the things that I did when fitting this panel is go back and get the other panels. This one actually fits on this side, and just make sure that you dry fit those at the same time. And I think that will really help you with the positioning of some of the rivets to make sure that you get it and you bend it into the right shape that you're going to be comfortable with when you finish it everything off in the future. All right, so I think we're good, and let's move on to next week. So next week, this is where I had a bit of a dilemma. Do I go straight for the engine install? I have the engine here as I showed in this episode, or I do more preparation and do the electrics first. So I think I'm actually going to probably go with the chassis wiring harness first, and I'll tell you more about that when we get to the next episode. So hopefully you're enjoying Kevin's garage and my interesting journey to build my Factory 5 Roadster as a complete novice. If you do, then please do the usual and like and subscribe. All right, that's it for this week, and we'll see you next time.